So where is Rick? It's something that we've all really been kept in the dark about. So many people don't even know about the movies that he's getting. And even then, the people that do, we still don't know where he is. It's something nobody's really talking about, like we literally have no clue where he is at all. Normally by now we'd have some kind of information telling us even remotely where he is, but we have nothing. And so in this video, all we're going to be doing is getting to the bottom of it. I'm going to run you through my theory, and then by the end of the video we should have a remote idea at least of where he is or what's happened to him. And of course, before this video starts, I need to announce the giveaway. I've officially started in this video my first ever giveaway, and this was promised, so I want to do something really cool for the first one. So for the first giveaway, I'm giving away something from my favourite episode of The Walking Dead, the Negan and Glenn action figure set. This giveaway starts in this video and ends on the 29th of May. You are automatically entered when you comment on this video saying I want to win. And of course you've got to follow my Twitter and my Instagram. I've literally just made my Instagram. There's literally 0 posts and 0 followers. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm 100% gonna see you more than I will anywhere else. I mean, I've had my Twitter for fucking years and no one follows me on that. So if you follow me on there, I'll see you too. Just comment I want to win, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you've automatically entered. And like I said, it finishes on the 29th. So whatever video comes out nearest to that date, that's when I'm going to announce the winner. So, where is Rick? People seem to assume he's gone to the Commonwealth, but I couldn't disagree more. Not only does the helicopter have a completely different symbol on it, unrelated to the Commonwealth, but Maggie allegedly went to the Commonwealth. It's really unlikely she would have just kept quiet the whole time, not told any of the groups where Rick is, or tried to contact them. I also don't think this was Maggie on the radio in the season 9 finale. She's been contacting the group through letters. Surely through those letters she would have mentioned Rick. When Rick left the show, I knew this would completely disconnect him from any of the other storylines in the main The Walking Dead show. Unfortunately, it's just all become an origin story for Judith. With Michonne leaving, I believe her only intention is to find Rick, leaving our only connection to Rick through the show being Daryl and Judith. Of course, the other characters knew him, they met him, but these are the two only characters that really were affected by it in any way, that we saw. So when Rick's movie trilogy starts, I believe it's pretty much just going to be Rick's universe, which will be good. Rick is 100% my favourite character, but the only bad thing to this is he's left the main show now. Andrew Lincoln said he will never return, it was his final season. And so as good as it is to have these 3 movies with him, I believe what happens when those movies run out is going to be truly sad. Michonne has always been destined to find Rick, but if you really look at the situation and the depth of Rick being taken, the circumstances surrounding that, it's actually really sinister. Let's rewind to the first time Rick ever saw this helicopter. He's walking by himself. He hears the helicopter, it just goes straight past him. But why? What's this helicopter doing out there? Well, there's a common theme every time we see this helicopter. It's always trying to take someone. The first time we really have a full confrontation, a real encounter with this helicopter, is when Jadis has tied up Negan. She doesn't kill him, she ties him up so the helicopter can take him. In fact, Jadis is only ever allowed on this helicopter if she has someone with her. Fast forward a few years and she tries the same thing with Gabriel. She is only allowed on this helicopter with Gabriel. These attempts both fail. So fast forward some more, she tries to cheat the system. We see her armed and she's ready to take the helicopter by gunpoint. That's until she sees consequences if you tried something. I don't know what you think, but to me this looks like Jadis was going to try something. But that's not even the scary part. Rick is a B. Jadis was not allowed on the helicopter without an A or a B. And she just said herself, a B is Rick, an injured Rick. So why does this unknown organization want injured people? Why does Jadis always have to have someone with her in order to travel with them? Well, I've said this since we first saw this helicopter. I think this organization are picking up injured people to experiment on them. They need people that are close to death so that they can test them for the cure. Now, I personally don't think there's any point to having a cure now. Of course, the walkers aren't really that much of a threat anymore. And so the only way this virus affects people now is herds and people dying anyway and just turning after they die. died. So I don't really see much point in it, but I believe this organization thinks that it does. Because of course the easiest one for them to do would be to experiment on animals, but we've seen animals do not turn, they are not affected by this virus. So you couldn't really experiment a cure on things that don't get turned. So they do it on the next easiest thing, injured people. These are people that are already close to death. I believe when people are close to death, that makes them a bee. And at first we see Jade is trying to trick these people when she has the gun. She firstly claims she has an A. An A, of course, I believe, is a normal, healthy person. For example, Negan, Gabriel. Those attempts failed. Last minute she saw a B, an injured, nearly dead Rick. Also, whatever happened to Heath? Did you remember Heath? Of course, a few months back when I first started commentating my videos, I made a big video dedicated to figuring out what happened to Heath. Angela Kang has strongly hinted that Heath is where Rick is, but the last thing we saw of Heath was his glasses smashed on the floor. It looked like he had been knocked out. So if these people are trying to help people, it's a bit ironic considering they knocked Heath out to get him. So I believe Jade is having to trade people out. Jade is having to have someone with her in order to board the helicopter is completely only for the organization's good. I think there's a really sinister ulterior motive to it. It really reminds me of The Walking Dead game season 1. Do you remember Mark? When the characters arrive at the dairy farm, Mark gets injured. The people at the farm claim they're going to take care of Mark, bring hospitality to him, but Lee makes the shocking discovery later on that they were using Mark's legs for food. So whilst they were pretending to look after Mark and heal him, they were just using him. Now, I don't believe this organization that have taken Rick are cannibals at all, but I believe 100% they're experimenting on people. The way I truly see this going down though, like I know that's why you clicked on the video, you want to see when Rick could return and what's happened to him. Well, I believe the first movie is going to be about him healing. I mean, that's been hinted at. We will see him healing, and at first this organization is going to appear to be okay. But I think there's a reason Rick hasn't left this place to find his family yet, because I don't think he can. I think he finds people at this organization. I think he makes a discovery that the people at this place aren't good. I think he's going to slowly start realizing that things aren't right. I don't know if the show is that committed to bringing up Heath again, but if Rick found out that this is what happened to Heath, that he was supposedly kidnapped or saved, only to be experimented on, it would be one of the biggest shocks in TV history. And I believe the majority of these movies, when they're focused on Rick, will be about shutting down this organization. Because don't forget, the Walking Dead universe has gone this long without ever fully confronting who these people are. We have never heard of these people before. Do you expect Rick to come out of these movies and find his family again? As much as I hate that Rick left, as much as I'm annoyed my favourite character is no longer in the main show, his story was a rinse and repeat process. He loses his family and he finds them. And once he finds them, he makes sure they're safe and that he can keep them. I don't think he was put in these movies just to have the exact same story. I think he meets people at this organization. People he notices keep disappearing gradually. People with similar stories to him. They were alone. They got taken. They're getting looked after by these people, but they all know something's not right. Rick sees what this organization is doing, and over the span of these movies, Rick will take this organization down. But I know what you're thinking. What would be the point of it? What does this do for Rick's character? Why has he been taken out of the main show just to have this different story in the movies? Well, I believe this is where Michonne comes in. Michonne will leave in season 10. I believe with the only intention to go and find Rick. And I think she will, but I think she'll only make an appearance at the very end of the movies. And when she finds Rick, I think he will be turned. I think this organization will fall and Rick will be the reason that all these people are saved because of the big plan that Rick had devised. He was the person that stood up to it. He's the person that put his foot down for the people. And so after all these years, Michonne will find Rick. And I think Michonne will return back to the main show to tell Judith and Daryl what happened. Of course, with Rick's body, she'd have all these hundreds of people that Rick saved. This doesn't mean Rick was dead all these years and that's why he didn't find Michonne, but I think it's because he couldn't escape and it's taken him this long to do it. So that's my main theory for who these people are and where Rick is and what could happen to him. But I know what a lot of you want to know is if he comes back. Well, that's likely too, but I just don't see that happening. What a lot of people say to defend this is, of course, Andrew Lincoln's quote. He said he regretted leaving at that time. He thinks he left at the wrong time. And trust me, that would have been so cool to see his reaction to the Pikes, him seeing the Whisperers. I would have loved that. And of course, I think we can all agree he did leave at the wrong time. But that doesn't change the fact that he did say he would just never return to the main show. And I think it's really unlikely that he's just going to return to the main show one day and be a recurring character again. I think it's fair to say these movies are going to close the Rick Grimes story for sure. Andrew Lincoln left so he could be with his family more, because the Walking Dead filming times, I think it's like May to November each year. So these movies will allow him to be Rick with less persistent recording times. So he could survive. He's been missing for 7 years in the show. If my theory about the organization being bad people is incorrect, I believe the movies will just be him travelling the country to find his family again. But he would have to be pretty far away or meet pretty impactful villains for him to take this long to find the communities again. But I really just don't see Rick coming back. As much as I want him to, as much as I think the show is so much better with Rick in it, I really don't see Rick coming back at all. But if he does, my theory for that would he'd have a load of new characters with him. Or something's changed. People in the comments have mentioned memory loss. Would this blood loss that he had give him some kind of amnesia? Well, it wouldn't give him amnesia, but you could say he forgets certain things. Maybe he forgets his family. Maybe he still thinks he's in season 1. Whatever happens to Rick, whatever has happened to Rick, it's been 7 years. So you've got to think about that. Something has held him back, but what will it be this time? I've seen a lot of people wonder what these movies are and when they're coming out. Well, the first thing we know is that there's going to be 3 movies dedicated to Rick Grimes' character. It's going to be a Rick Grimes trilogy, with the first movie releasing in 2020. And I think Rick Grimes is one of the most entertaining and cool characters in TV. So when we first start getting information about these movies that he's getting, I'm going to be uploading non-stop. So make sure you subscribe so that you're the first to hear about all these movies and when they're coming out, what they're going to be about and how they could end. Now, the show has gotten much better without him, and that's not just me saying that, it's viewers and critics alike, who have given some of the best scores since season 5 on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes respectively. In fact, season 9 of The Walking Dead is the best reviewed season ever for the series. Fuck me. It genuinely hurt to read that. Are they watching the same show as us? Yeah, sure, season 9 was good. I think I enjoyed about a quarter of it. And yeah, I can admit, that wasn't even the part Rick was in. I didn't enjoy that at all. When the Whisperers arrived, I really liked it. And from there, I enjoyed most parts of it. But I can't be the only one that watches this show now and just feels like a massive part of it is gone. Because once the main character leaves, it just feels like it's all falling apart. Now, Angela Kang has done a decent job at pulling it all together, but it's really bad when an iconic scene like the Pike scene happens and so many people are just asking themselves, imagine this scene with Rick. Rick is the main character. With him gone, it really does take the points out of a lot of things, and it makes me take the show a bit less seriously. And the person who wrote this mentions other reviews. Well, the majority of the time, these critics are not big fans. They treat it like they're sitting there to only judge it, but there's some people who are fully immersed in the Walking Dead universe, so their opinion over some critic will always be something more truthful. So of course they can sit there and judge it as a TV show, giving it points for storylines, but I'm sure most of us watching this will always feel the absence of Rick. So that was my video all about the return of Rick Grimes and where he could be. On the top right of your screen, an eye icon will appear. Tap or click on that and you're going to be able to vote in the poll and get your voice heard. Do you think Rick will survive the movies? Do you think he will die similar to how I said? Or do you think he will return to the main show like we all want? Let me know, and of course, comment down below what you think. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe. On my community wall, we have polls where we decide the next video. This one, of course, was voted to be the first one. The next video to be uploaded is the top 10 worst The Walking Dead characters, where we look at both The Walking Dead universes and choose the top 10 worst characters in it. And then after that, the much needed follow-up to my New Walker video. These next 2 videos are going to be really raw in the way that it's showing a lot more of my actual opinion on things. So I know I've delayed them a few times, but I'm just making sure they're worth the wait. And once those videos are done, it will be regular uploads all of next week. In about 10 seconds, some videos will pop up on your screen. If you enjoyed this video, then I really recommend you watch these ones. Last week's video was about the return of Troy from Fear the Walking Dead, a whole video dedicated to his whereabouts and whether he's actually dead. So if you love Fear the Walking Dead or you want to get into watching Fear the Walking Dead, then I recommend that. Make sure to subscribe so that you're the first to hear about The Walking Dead. See you soon. Thanks for watching.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.